Hello students, welcome to Smart World School of Complete Education. Let's start with chapter 5, Shivaji's education. Beginning of Shivaji's education. Shahaji Raje himself was a scholar of Sanskrit. In the Bangalore court, he had under his patronage artists and scholars of various languages. He appointed intelligent teachers for Shivaji. Shivaji's education began when became 7 years old. Soon, Shivaji became skilled in the art of reading and writing. He began to read the stories from Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavad on his own. To teach him warfare, Shahaji Raje had appointed some teachers. They began to teach Shivaji to ride a horse, to wrestle, to use swords and danpatta. Thus, at the age of 12, Shivaji became acquainted with different branches of learning art. Soon, Adil Shah sent Shahaji Raje on an expedition to conquer the states of the Nayaks, local chiefs in Karnataka. Before settling upon the expedition, Shahaji Raje sent Shivaji and Jijabai to Pune. With them, he sent elephants, horses, and infantry, a treasury, a flag, as also trusted ministers, brave generals, and renowned teachers. Rejuvenation of Pune. Jijabai and Shivaji returned to Pune. Shivaji remembered his childhood days, which he had spent on Shivneri. He could see the lofty peaks of the Sayadri again and became very happy. At that time, it was not such a big city. It was totally devastated by Shivaji's enemies. Properties were damaged, houses were demolished, temples had collapsed, the frightened people had fled from their villages, fields had become barren, thick forests had grown, wolves roamed in the countryside. Pune thus was totally in shambles and ruins. When the people living around came to know that Jijabai had returned to Pune with Shivaji, they took heart. Jijabai called all of them and reassured them that they would be safe in Pune. People started settling in Pune, cultivating their lands. Jijabai had dilapidated temples repaired. In the temples, worship began morning and evening. The town was again thriving with people. Thus, Pune was totally transformed. The achievements of Dadaji Kondev. When Jijabai and Shivaji were in Karnataka, Dadaji Kondev looked after the Pune Jagir. He was the Subedar of Kondana also. He was very faithful. He was strict, efficient, and honest in his work. He was also a strict disciplinarian. He served with devotion. At about this time, a big Wada residence was built in Pune by the orders of Shahaji Raje. It became to be known as Lal Mahal. To encourage the peasants to till their lands, Dadaji gave them concessions in land tax for a few years. He offered prizes for destroying the wolves which infested the countryside and harassed the peasants. Many wolves were killed. He raised peasant patrols to protect life and property from gangs of thieves who roamed around the countryside. He fixed land's revenue according to the quality of the soil. He thus made the people happy. Shivaji's education. When Shivaji returned to Pune, his education continued under the supervision of Jijabai. While returning from Bangalore, Jijabai and Shivaji were accompanied by the eminent teachers sent by Shahaji Raje. They taught him many sciences, branches of learning, and languages. Shivaji acquired the knowledge of excellent administration, war tactics, fort architecture, selection of horses and elephants, ways of escaping from difficult enemy territories, and many other things. Shivaji's progress in education pleased Jijabai very much. What Veer Mata Jijabai taught Shivaji. Jijabai was no ordinary woman. She was the daughter of the mighty Sardar Lakhuji Rao Jadhav and the wife of the brave and valiant Shahaji Raje. She had inherited a knowledge of politics and warfare from her infancy. In her was witnessed the confluence of martial traditions of famous houses of the Jadhavs and Bhosles. She was a freedom loving person with a great sense of pride. She had learned through bitter experience that how much ever a Maratha Sardar displayed valor, it was not appreciated in the courts of sultans. She had valiantly faced the shock of her father's murder in the open court at the instigation of Nizam Shah. She had resolved that her son Shivaji would never be engaged in the services of others. He would establish the rule of his own people, Swaraj. She was bringing up Shivaji with that ideal. The people living in the Marvel region were called Mavlas. They were loyal, hardworking, and quick footed. No one could surpass them in hardiness, but they were harassed by the Sultan's rule. The armies of the sultans used to plunder their villages, forcing the people to abandon their places. Nobody cared for them. Shivaji yearned to do something for these poor and miserable people. On returning home, Shivaji would talk about his mother. Jijabai would say, Shiva, Sri Ramchandra is the ancestor of the Bhosles. Rama killed Ravan and made his people happy. The ancestor of the Jadhavs is Sri Krishna. He killed Kans and brought relief to the people. You are a descendant of both Sri Rama and Sri Krishna. You can also destroy the wicked and make your subjects happy. These words of Jijabai were a source of inspiration to young Shivaji. He would remember the brave deeds of heroes of the past like Rama, Krishna, Bhim, Arjun. He thought of them all the time, whether asleep or awake. He felt that he too must fight against influence, must fight against just injustice as they did, and like them, destroy the wicked and bring happiness to his subjects. He thought that he should become courageous and brave, like the heroes of the old. The new regime of Shivaji. In Pune Jagir, the new regime of Shivaji began under the guidance of Jijabai. Shahaji Raje had already made the preparations for this. When Shahaji Raje sent Shivaji from Bangalore to Pune, he sent some very powerful and prestigious people with him. They were Samraj Nilkant Peshwe, Balkrishna Hanmante, Muzumdar, Mankoji Dahatonde Sarnobat, Raghunath Balal Sabnis, Sonopant Davi. These were all men these were all able men to fit to administer an independent kingdom. Shahaji Raje had specially deputed them to Pune to help Shivaji govern his Jagir efficiently. With their help, Shivaji began to administer his Jagir, to attend the people's grievances. Those who inflicted injustice upon the riot were punished. In a way, Shahaji Raje's Jagir was undergoing transformation. The Mavlas got a glimpse of future Swaraj. It was as it were the dawn of Swaraj. Shivaji's marriage. In those days, people married at a very early age. So Jijamata said, we should now get Shivba married. Then a search for a suitable bride for Shivba began. Soon she found the girl she wanted. Her name was Saibai. Saibai came from the Nimbalkar family of Faltan. The marriage was celebrated with great splendor. Exercises. First, fill in the blank. A. Shahaji Raje was a scholar of Dash. Options are Sanskrit, Kannada, Tamil. B. People living in the Marwal region were called Dash, peasants, soldiers, Mavlas. Second, answer in one sentence. A. Who appointed teachers for Shivaji and where? B. What did the teachers begin to teach Shivaji? C. Why did Dadaji Kondev give concession in land to tax to peasants? Third, give the answer in two or three sentences. A. How was Pune rejuvenated? B. What knowledge did Shivaji acquire? C. What had Jijabai resolved? Activity. Write and enact dialogue between Shivaji and Jijabai. B. Read the biography of Veer Mata Jijabai. That's all for today. Thank you.